Hello, my name is Professor John Benjamin and this is Game Design, and today we're going to take a look at sounds, just ambient sounds. And this time I'd like you to create a third-person game, so we'll get a feeling for how that template works. So select third person, say next, and I'm just going to call this sound, or sound. Okay, and here is the third-person template, and to get a feel for it, you can just simply hit play or Alt-P or Option-P, and then you can just use your WASD keys to maneuver this character, which has a camera following him or her. Okay. And just to get a feel for how that works, I'm just going to hit Escape to go back to the level editor. All right, and what I want to do today is place some ambient sounds. So the first thing I want to do, though, is just get a little practice here. We're going to create a fire, and so we'll have a fire crackling sound. All right, so to do that, let's go and get a geometry brush. I'm going to bring in a cylinder, and I'm going to go ahead and just increase the sides so it's a little rounder, more round. Okay, and then what I'd like to do is I'm going to make like a fire pit here. And so I can simply just hold down the Alt or the Option key and just duplicate this cylinder. And then I'm going to go ahead and scale it down. Oop, that's a little too small. That looks pretty good. All right, and then I'm going to change it from additive to subtractive. All right, and then maybe I'll make it a little bit deeper, like so. Okay, and there we have a little fire pit. Okay, and you can add a material to it if you like. So the next thing I want to do is go down into content browser, and let's look in the starter content that came with this default template. So we're going to go ahead and open up the starter content, and we're going to open up particles. All right, and so there's some starter content particles, and the one we're going to use is fire. So I'm just going to drag fire into my fire pit there, move it up a little, and we're going to go to the details palette and or panel. And I'm going to go ahead and increase the size of it. So right now it's 1. I'm going to close it so I increase the size of it uniformly. Let's make it 2. Let's make it 5. It's a big fire. Whoa, that's a little too big. All right, let's try 3. That's better. Okay. All right, so there we have a fire in our fire pit, but it's not going to seem very realistic if it doesn't have any sound. So in our starter content, we can go back a folder and look for audio. And you can drag your own audio. You can download audio from a variety of places, record your own audio, and then just bring it in, import it here into your content browser. Or let's try fire. So we can test it out here. Okay, so I'm just going to go drag fire into my level. And I'm going to want this sound to stay with the fire particles. So here I have Fire 1 ambient sound. I can go ahead and drag that over on top of fire, and now they're grouped. And so when I move fire, the sound will move with it. So here we have some ambient sound. So let's go ahead and test it out. I'm going to hit play. And as I move around, the fire sound is pretty uniform. Okay. All right, I'm a gamer. There we go. All right, sitting by the fire. Okay. And then I'm just going to go ahead and hit escape. And now one of the things, if you want to center things as well, be a little bit more precise, there's several ways to do it, but one simple way is just go to top view, kind of line it up. And the other thing you can do is just make sure, if you want it directly in the center, that it's lined up with the other objects around it. So if I go ahead and select my fire pit here, I can see its Y is at 700 and its X is at negative 660. So then if I come back down here and select fire, it's also right around the same spot. If I want negative 660, I think is what I said, then they'll be precisely aligned. What I want to do is change the attenuation settings for the ambient sound. So next I'm going to go ahead here and hit my sound, or select it in the world outliner. And then I'm going to scroll down here and look for attenuation. So what I want to do is override attenuation. And then you can see, if you zoom out here, there's 2 spheres. And so what will happen is here's the central sound, and if I move away from it, it'll get quieter. So what I want to do, just so we can illustrate how this works a little bit better, I'm going to kind of make this a little more extreme. So after you check override attenuation, scroll down to attenuation distance. And you can see here the inner radius you can change, and then the fall-off distance you can change. So I'm going to make the fall-off distance a little closer to the inner radius, like so, and that way we'll be able to really experience it changing when we walk away from it. So go ahead and hit play. Okay, so right now I don't hear the fire at all. But as I get closer to it. But this is the interesting thing here. It's right now the sound isn't positioned to my character's ears. It's positioned to the camera. So watch as I pan the camera around. It gets louder. And so we want to be mindful of that. So this attenuation distance is a little extreme. Okay, and that's really how you control ambient sound. Just really basic. All right, so thank you, and have a good day.